All right guys, we're gonna be setting some posts for our continuous fence panels. That is the #1 thing you gotta do, the first step when setting continuous fence and installing continuous fence. So we're gonna jump on into that, but if you need more detailed instructions on how to set posts, click the video right here and go check that out. But we're gonna jump into that and show you guys what continuous fence looks like. So here we go. All right guys, we just finished setting our post for a continuous fence. Again, if you need more detailed instructions, click the link to go watch more details on how to set posts. But we're gonna let this set overnight and we're gonna come back tomorrow and put on our continuous fence panel. So stay tuned for that. All right, we're back here. We're gonna finish up this little continuous fence project. We let these posts set for over 24 hours and they're nice and solid, okay? We went down about 2 feet and we did concrete, and these posts aren't going nowhere, okay? So we're gonna get started. We're gonna lay this out, get our continuous fence ready to be attached to the post. So let's jump to the next step. All right, first step, you're gonna need a tape measure, okay, a marker, and some string line. All right, step 2, now we've gotta mark the height of our fence. Today, we're gonna be doing 5 feet, okay? Most of our feet that we install and build and other customers build is gonna be 5 feet, okay? So we're gonna mark that post. We're gonna mark our corner post. Boom, 5 feet. And our last post here, we're gonna go to each end, another 5 feet. Boom, all marked. Now we need a string line, and I'm gonna show you what we're gonna do with that. Next, we're gonna be using a string line. The reason we use a string line is because different terrain is gonna affect how your fence sits, okay? So this post could be higher, this post could be really low, and then that end post could be a different height. Now, if we're gonna be doing it 5 feet on every post, the fence is gonna look like this depending on your terrain, okay? So we're gonna mark 5 feet here, 5 feet at the other end, and we're gonna make a nice, constant, level looking fence using a string line. So now that we got the string line, this is gonna be where our fence is gonna sit, okay, to make a level fence line. Okay, so we're at 5 feet there. Now if this, terrain had dipped, okay, and we were gonna measure here and make our mark, well, then the fence, the top of the fence line would dip with how high we mark it. So we're gonna use the string line to make it consistent and eye appealing for a nice looking fence, okay? So we're at 5 feet on both ends. Nice level top rail here. Now we're gonna use this to hang our continuous fence panel. Now we're gonna be using the panel. We're gonna lift it up. Okay, and the pipe jacks, not everybody's gonna have a pipe jack, so I'm gonna show you how to do it with a ratchet strap as well, but these pipe jacks are really handy as well. Okay, so you put it on each side. A lot of people use these when they're hanging gates as well. Okay, so one end's gonna be on the jack stands. The other end is gonna be with a ratchet strap. And we wanna get up to this 5 foot mark on our fence. Ratchet strap right here is gonna be an easy way to help you when installing continuous fence, okay? So lift it up to where you think you'll need it. We'll need to go get the other side higher, and then you can just ratchet and adjust it as needed. Now that we are starting at the edge of the post with our continuous fence panel, you want to start at one end and we're going to work away from the starting point. Okay, we're going to use our clips and screws Now to mount one clip on every rail, okay? So we're gonna just slide that right over. We're gonna get 2 panel mounting screws and we're gonna drill it right into the post right in the center. All right, once you got your first continuous fence panel on, you can take your straps off and you can move your pipe jacks, okay? And you can use it over on this side. All of our continuous fence panels come with a male end. Now you can see here, this is the end of a panel. We're gonna go into the next continuous fence panel, and that's why it's called continuous fence, because they easily slide into each other. So this panel's right next to it. I'm gonna kind of lift it up on this end so that we're a little bit higher. Now all we gotta do is slide it on. We're gonna do one rail at a time. So I got the bottom. Got the second rail. Got the third rail. Fourth rail, and the last rail, we might have to lift it up a little bit more. And the last rail there. And come to this side. And all right, now we're back to the beginning over here where we started with the continuous fence panel. This is gonna be our corner, okay? So it may not be perfectly, flush with your post. So you're gonna wanna cut that down so you're flush. Your next panel, and we're gonna show you this tomorrow, is gonna be on the outside, and you're gonna come to the edge of this panel where it will overlap. We'll put a cap to make it nice and clean. And that's really how you do a nice clean corner using continuous fence. All right, so now we gotta work on our continuous fence corner, okay? And there's gonna be 2 options that you can do for this corner. You can come to the inside if your panel's on the inside and butt up to your rails on the inside. On this one, I'm actually gonna be on the outside, okay? So I'm gonna cut these down to match up with the post length. My next panel is gonna come all the way past and come to the outside of this continuous fence panel, and we'll show you how that works. So let me get this cut down and we'll show you this corner. All right, now we're gonna get started on our corner. We're gonna need to make sure that we're 5 feet all across. So we're gonna be using our string line again and our handy dandy tools of pipe jacks and our ratchet strap. So here we go. All right, so we got our string line to mark where our 5 foot height is gonna be. We've got our pipe jacks. We already cut down this corner, so we're gonna go past that. And here we've got our stand to use there, and on the other end we're gonna be using our ratchet strap one more time. Lift it up. Again, ratchet straps are going to be your cheapest option. All right, we're pretty good there. Now we're gonna go past just a little bit so we can make a nice clean corner. We'll need to cut these down a little bit, and you can see the caps here to finish it off all nice. All right, now that we got it right where we want it to go, matching the string line, we need our clips one more time, and we're gonna go and screw it all in. So I've got all my clips laid out, and we're gonna put one on each rail, right in the center of your post. And I've got our self-tapping screws with my impact drill. We're gonna goes in nice and easy. All right, as you can see here, these aren't perfectly level with the ends of this continuous fence. I'm gonna cut those down. We're gonna have to cut the posts down and put our caps on, and then we're also gonna need to cut this end where our gate's gonna go. So that's my next step. I use a Sawzall, okay, but you can use a grinder or a bandsaw, a few different things, but this is nice and easy to use. So we're gonna cut through that with a metal blade, and then we're gonna put our caps on and finish it all up. Depending on the caps that you're gonna be using, that will determine on how high you're gonna need to cut your post off. Okay, so these are pressed post caps that I'm gonna be using. They're gonna be on the outside going over the post, okay? So I'm gonna basically get that height, measure from the top of the continuous fence clip up that high, and we're gonna cut them all around. But if you're using the plastic caps that go inside, you can come to the top of this cap, or the top of this continuous fence clip, or a weld-on cap, you can as well come to the top of this continuous fence clip and cut them all the way around. So just remember that when you're cutting for your caps, you're gonna wanna make sure if you have an outside cap like this to accommodate accordingly. So we're gonna cut these down real quick, and then we'll hang our gate. Okay, now that I cut it down, get your cap on. Now we've got to hang our gate. And what we need for our gate is the gate, obviously. We need our bolt-on hinges. Okay, we got a male one, and this is to go over our 2 3/8 posts. And then we got a female one. This one's gonna go over our gate post, okay? Now you can also use a J-bolt to go through the post. You may have a different size post that you can also get different size bolt-on hinges for that. So I'm gonna put these on the post and the gate, and we're gonna get them tight and adjust it. All right, now I got these bolt-on hinges on the gate here, and I just gotta tighten them up. You can use just a socket set or an impact drill, which will make it nice and quick for you, but I just got a socket set, which most people are gonna have a socket set. These are gonna be 9/16, and we gotta tighten these up, and I like to tighten them up right in the center between the two rails. Okay, I have them on the post, the 2 3/8 male ends, male bolt-on hinges, and once we get this gate up and those are tightened, we're gonna place them where they need to be. So we got the first ones on there. So the ones on the gate are nice and tight. Now the ones on the post, one needs to be, the top one needs to be facing down. So you can see here, it's facing down. And the bottom one needs to be facing up so that way the gate can't come undone. Okay, so we're gonna put that there. And what we're gonna have to do is get it up and level with our continuous fence panels. So we might have to tighten this a little bit.
Up a little bit.
Now we just got to put our end caps on here for the rails of the continuous fence. All right, and that is how you build continuous fence all by yourself. Now, if you're interested in getting some of our continuous fence panels, our gates, posts, easy do-it-yourself fencing products, be sure to give us a call or check us out on our website, sevenpeaksfencebarn.com. I'm gonna slide through the clips.